Welcome to the final review of Horizon Zero Dawn. So I made some notes this time to keep track of the points of what I wanted to discuss about this game. Overall, this game was a very well put together game. I'll start off with the graphics. The graphics, as you can see, I'm running this on the PS4 game. I would give the graphics an A plus as far as the environments go. Just even though the map was not a huge map, the landscapes and the trees and there's a lot of environmental work, and it's really one of the top notch games. They put a lot of work in the environments. It's not the best environment work I've ever seen, but it's to that level of, immersive world. It really brings the game to life. There's snow, rain effects, desert. You go from desert to all sorts of climates, high, low, wind, you name it. So environments, definitely an A plus on that game. Character models, very well done. Aloy, very well done model. Her, the facial animations, spot on. There was here and there in the game, I saw some NPCs, but maybe they could have done a little bit better at the NPC conversation facial animations, but it was only noticeable in a few small cases. Still, the models are very well done. A plus. I want to talk about the character's costume, Aloy's costume. That's one of the drawbacks of this game. In other games, you have, in RPGs, you upgrade the character's costume. This game really didn't. It had a lot of variety. You could pick and choose, but it was related to skill, so I didn't really have a lot of opportunity to mix around her costume. I kind of just it felt like I got stuck on this one costume because it was tied to the abilities that I wanted to get out of it. So you didn't really see a lot of change in her costume working naturally. It's kind of like you had to stick to one costume, and it's like there's a set of costumes and they all had like a native theme around it. I really wanted to get what are they, the technology armor. That looked cool, but in order to get that, they made you do a whole bunch of egg hunts, and I really didn't want to put the time to that. So that's kind of one of the. So I would say A minus, on that one, as far as the variety of costumes. As far as the game mechanics, we have a straightforward RPG, combat, climbing, riding. So as far as combat goes, that was the main fun of this game. I would give combat a solid A. I really enjoyed putting the tools to work that was the main meat of the game. Putting the tools to work in order to bring down the mechanical robots in this game. Just playing around with the different sorts of weapons. I finally moved to a core set of weapons I use reliably, but you can kind of use whatever you want to your play style. So that I found to be the best thing in this game. But combat, I'd give it an A. Skill tree. The skill tree, some of the skills were kind of not really worth it. They're just kind of thrown in there, it felt like, but I'd say half and half. Some of the skills you unlock are still relevant and make your character more powerful, but some of them were really not worth it, just kind of thrown in there to fill it out. So again, skill tree and A, not a big deal. As far as upgrading goes, I wrote upgrades A minus. It kind of escapes me where I wrote that, so I'll move on. So let's move on to story. The story, I was kind of mixed on the story. There's a lot of points where I was like, this is ridiculous. This is, this doesn't make sense. This is it's just not believable. But there's other parts of the story where it was like, this is interesting, and especially at the end, I liked how they tied in the smaller stories of the kingdoms feuding into the overall picture of, the machines in the background, the overall world threat that we have to stop. It sort of ties and brings everybody together. So solid, it tied up nicely at the end into um, one nice package. So story, I give it A. Characters, I wasn't sold on Aloy in the beginning. It just something didn't click with me, like in her, the main character. It's just not until I played, 20 hours, I started to really, get into the character and become attached to her. Um, I would have liked to see, it seems like the game, it gives you artificial choices, but it doesn't really allow you to be, right, it gives you artificial choices, but your choices don't really impact the story as a whole. And it really doesn't matter what you choose. There's no, good choice, evil choice. It's all like 3 choices, but they're all good choices. So it's kind of like, I didn't really like that as much. As far as the main character, when I progressed to the very end, I had to almost connect a reasonable connection to the character and her struggle, but it took a while. I wasn't really, locked into her personality from the get-go. All the other side characters as well, it's kind of like, it felt that was weak. Like I couldn't really get into, I couldn't really, feel for the I couldn't really empathize with the characters. I couldn't really relate to the characters as well as other games. It's like their overall personalities. It just didn't really. It's kind of a drawback. So I give characters at A-. Main quests, solid, very well done. Took you all over the map. It was a pleasure to play through the game. I'd say A-. Side quests, a little more. Side quests are a little bit more. It's like you're not really involved. They don't really get you as much. It just felt like, just a round out the game. I would give the side quest a B-. They're not as strong. They're not as memorable. They're just there, and they don't really add anything to the game. I think the last point I want to go over is music. Good music in any game, like Elder Scrolls or Witcher 3. It's those moments in the points of the game where the music really sets it off. And there's points in this game. I wouldn't say that the music while you're playing the game is memorable, but during like the cutscenes or certain highlights of the game, the music sets a tone where it gives you like it really brings the game up another level. So I'd say a solid A on the music, the score there. Other than that, I think I've covered most, if not everything, I liked and disliked about the game. So overall, a very solid game, one of the best games. I can certainly see why it was contender for Game of the Year. And I'd say that Zelda Breath of the Wild, edged it out just a little bit. It's right up there, but I don't think it's right up there, but it just missed the mark of being in the level of like a Skyrim or Witcher 3. So I'm gonna say that this game deserves a solid A+. Not an A, an A+. There was just something missing from this game to make it one of my favorite games. It was very well. It was very good. A lot of the complaints are minor, but I think that A+ is a fair score to give this game. And it seems like I give a lot of A+, but I've only been playing the best games on the market right now. So I don't play really. I don't play a lot of trashy games, but I think it's a fair score for all the games I have played. Okay, so that's my review for Horizon Zero Dawn. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next game.